Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. I hope you are all doing well at this ungodly hour. I've been at work till 11, hence why I'm a little bit late. I've not long walked through the door, sorted the dogs out. I got a pot of coffee, and then I had to catch up. Do you know what, right? Normally work's nice and chilled. But tonight, there must be an issue with drivers or whatever. There was no availability. I was on the phone for the full 6 hours. Bam, 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 bam. So I've not even had a chance to go through and read all the articles. Okay, so what I did do, though, just before coming live, hence why I'm a little bit late, and I know Andrea did the same as well. He's waiting in the wings. I've just watched Daniel Farke's first full interview as Leeds United boss. 10 minutes of absolute pure bliss. Okay, we'll talk about the article on the Leeds United site, but sometimes it's better to just give you your emotion. That's why before I wanted to come live, I wanted to watch that video. I watched his interview on Sky, and that's why I'm a little bit late, so apologies. But without further ado, I know as soon as I came on, right, I've just come into the room, me and Andrea, before I started, and we both just laughed. Both just looked at each other, and he went, "Did you enjoy it?" I said, "It was amazing, wasn't it? Pure bliss." Let's bring him in. Andrea, we're feeling good, aren't we? Daniel Farke's here, man.
The horse has arrived. yeah.
Oh, man. Like Lockie said, amazing, isn't it? It is, just listening to him speak, like, it's nice, isn't it? It is nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And, it reminded me of the first interviews that Bielsa did, actually. Maybe a little bit in terms of what he said, actually, about the size of the club, the connection to the fans. Yeah. So it's music to our ears hearing these things again. But it was also realistic in saying that, of course, 4 weeks before the start of the season, it's not the ideal situation to start with. But I think he has clear ideas, and I was really excited watching it.
Yeah, same. And just the way he was talking and that, and it really. It's really exciting. And someone's mentioned it in the chat, right? Someone said they loved the way that he kept saying "we" or something along them lines. And genuinely, I made some notes. I made some notes as he was talking, and genuinely, all I've put is "we." That's all he said. Like, we need to do this. We need to do that. Not I or they or them. It was we. And he said, towards the end, mate, we need to stay special. We need to stay unique. We need to stay together. We need to defend this white shirt. And I'm just sat there going, I'm eating out of the palm of his hand, bro. I'm just going, yes, like a horse would do. You know what I mean? No, but genuinely though, this is what it's about. You know what I mean? It's not. I guess company speak, like we heard from Jesse and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's pure, raw emotion, right?
Absolutely means it. And when he talked about the size of the club, his past Darren Rod when he came when he played with Norwich, of course, in a way dugout. He said that he remember very fondly the sea of white shirts that night.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that he said that you have to give 100% for the white shirt. He knows the area. He mentioned the area. He mentioned how people are working in the area. So you have to give 100% for them. And that reminded me of when Marcelo made the players, pick up the litter from the training ground. Of course, it was just a different action. But in this case, these words remind me of that mentality. That you have to earn the fans. You have to earn the fans. And you earn their trust, especially, and rebuild that connection right now. Because last season, of course, we had a team, especially certain players that, of course, it didn't click.
It was gone.
It didn't click.
Yeah. Every connection that was built up during Bielsa, let's be honest, at the end of the day now, we look at even some of the old guys. Well, that's how we speak about them. They're spoke, for me, a little bit disrespectfully in the old guard or get rid of them. Whereas, had they have been leaving us under what was great time would have said, you know what, thank you so much. Now people can't wait to see the back of them. So it just shows you how disconnected it became. And I think with Daniel Farke, like genuinely, mate, as the announcement happened, I'm sat at work, I'm so busy. I'm just refreshing to it. And as it came up, man, I got all excited again, bro. Because I feel like this is the right man to lead us forward again, you know, genuinely. It feels like you say, almost similarly to Marcelo. No one's going to ever compare, but if like the way that
personalities,
the way that we're going to play ball as well, right? We're not going to be a poor footballing side, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because he said that he won't like to advertise his style of football, of course, like he said in the interview with LETV.
Yeah.
But you know, I like that because, of course, the pitch it should be the ultimate judge. You know, he wants to be judged. Or his football just be judged. He said, looking at the pitch, what happened on the pitch. You know. And hopefully now we have the manager. Now the second step is bringing in the right players to play that style of football. Because of course, style of football and fitness, especially, that requires a lot from the players. That requires specific players to play that style of football. But it's
you love it, don't you, Andrea?
I love it. It's almost 1 a.m. here, but
wow,
no worries. You know, no worries. I'm not I'm not one that goes to bed early in the night, so it's normal administration for me, you know. By the way, I was saying, you know, the fitness, and I like the fact that he said that you know, the 4 weeks are not enough probably to bring up the level of the fitness that he requires. So we need to be patient in the beginning, because of course the first he said
he sort of tempered expectations, didn't he, a little bit? It was like, you know, just
he wanted to be be realistic in certain ways. You know, the fact that, of course, in the 12 is on the 12th the game versus Man United. It's on the 12th, I think. So it's of course it's next week basically. So
what day are we on today, bro? We're on the 4th. It's 6 days away. 6 days away.
6 days away. So of course you need time. We need to be patient, and of course the first thing that needs to happen is, as you said, outgoings. You know.
Yeah.
Outgoings. So look where it is.
Hello.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Oh, so
I seen you in the chat, and I thought, if he's free, let's get him on. He is exciting as
some chicken, Oh.
By the way, that noise was my book from the early days.
Okay.
Oh my god, just giddiness. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
I've just felt giddy. It was like after all this waiting, so happy with it. So happy.
It really is. I'm like you, mate. I can't wait. Like, I feel like we're just going to be entertained again. Do you see what I'm saying? We're going to be entertained. It's
going to be enjoyable, isn't it?
Yes.
But I do agree with what you said, Andrea. We might have to be a little patient. Which is tough.
I ain't got time for that though, me. I can't. I'm expecting 5 wins on the bounce, me. Cardiff, you're gonna get smoked.
Don't get me wrong, we need to start with a win, I think.
Joe, after we lose against Cardiff, hopefully not sack the board.
Sack her out.
Just on that, did you see Radrazani try to get involved?
Do you know what? I kind of rate it. He knows what he's doing, doesn't he? He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah,
he'll be online.
He did himself, honestly, with that tweet. You know, bringing the A to himself with all these comments. Those comments.
Yeah, I think he likes it. I think he's weird.
Definitely. James says, "Is Farke, I'm assuming, exciting, or is it just relief?" No, I think we were all banging the Farke drum. None of us wanted Vieira. I know us three didn't anyway. We were all about Daniel Farke, and I think there is a little tinge of relief to it as well. But just I mean, I don't know. I think some of you might have caught it, but hearing the Norwich City fan today on my channel speaking about him, that was great. Hearing it from him as well. So, you know, I'm really excited. And like I said, the key point for me was he kept talking about we. This is what we're gonna do, and it again. It's just about bringing us all back together. I even think, like under Bielsa as a fan base, we were so together, and then when he left, there were so many fractions. Like Yeah, it's all about being together. I think all pulling in the right direction, and I think Daniel's going to do that. Jamie mentions he has to be backed. 100%. There was an interview that he did on Sky. He was asked the question about incomings and outgoings and the strong squad, and he said, "Look, by the time we kick off, there's going to be a lot of changes." I think he's well aware that there's going to be, and I guess for us as content creators now, it's full pedal to the metal, right? We're going to see a lot of outgoings. We're going to see a lot of incomings. I think he even said himself, the squad's going to look totally different. Do you have confidence in them that they can get this done, folks?
Yeah, absolutely. 4-year contract. Yeah, go Lucky.
I was just going to say, well, I think they've had these discussions with him. I think it might have took a little longer because he's had these talks and they clearly agreed that they'll bring in what he asks. They'll have gone through recruitment, obviously. And so I think get on with that now. Do it as quickly as possible. Get a few players potentially, in the next 7 days, if we can. Get outgoings and just get that squad ready because he needs time. He does need time. That's one thing I've mentioned. We need to get the players in as soon as we can, to be honest.
I think a lot's been made about him saying sort of like, you didn't have to convince me about Leeds United, which I understand. Who does, right? No disrespect to Norwich, but we're a huge club and he knows that. We're a huge draw. But I think what's key, and I think it's also very important because Bielsa was very similar in this respect. He needs to know that he's coming into the right environment. And I think that's what's maybe held it up a little bit. He said, it's very important that I was 100% convinced of the key people here, i.e. your likes of Parag, your likes of Angus. And I think it's important that a manager does that due diligence and doesn't just say, oh, this is Leeds United, I'm going in the door. He needs to know that everything is going to be right for him in order to build success. And I think for Daniel Farke as well, listen, speaking to that Norwich City fan today, I didn't realise that their first season in the Premier League, they spent 5 million.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Like, that's insane.
Wasn't back
5 million. No. And even in the second season, they spent 60, but a lot of that was Buendia money. Yeah.
Imagine the best player and it's phenomenal for them.
5 million. I spoke to someone earlier. I said it's like me going to get a full shop on £5. It's not happening, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, you're finished.
So I think as well, Daniel, he'll see this as an opportunity for him to get a proper chance at Premier League if he does get us promoted, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the 4-year contract, I think it shows that the 49ers want if we get promoted, they're gonna back him, of course. And especially,
are you surprised at that, lads, that he got 4 years? Because there was a lot of talk that it was a year and we were gonna change and all.
I think
that sort of stuff.
That might be testament to him in the interview process. He might have gone in there, said, I want a longer term project, and if you give me these things, I'll deliver, and they're trusting him in that. But I was just I forgot what I was going to say, actually. Continue. Forgotten.
No. You're right. And I think Yorkshire Dave says
it was a surprise, honestly, because I expected at least 3 years for us. I think he never signed 4 years contract. I think at Norwich it was 3-year contract, if I remember correctly.
Right. Okay.
And at Krasnodar 3-year contract and Gladbach 3-year contract. So it's the first time I think he signs a 4-year contract. But it's just the commitment and the fact that, of course, he needed to be brought into the project, because he chose Leeds actually. Yeah. He needed to understand what the project was behind the scenes, of course, apart from, like you said, Joe, apart from the size of the club, of course, and the foundations. The dogs are getting to him.
Mate, do you know what? This is why another reason I was just late. Sorry, Andrea. Andrea knows anyway. I walked through the door and one of the dogs, I mustn't have shut the cage right. So one of the dogs had got out and had actually pulled the blanket off one of them. And I just felt so sorry for Bill because while one's been running out, the other one's been in the cage. Like, why am I not out? So when we're done here, I'm going to have to take them on a big, long-ass walk just to apologise. So, yeah, I feel sorry for him. But, yeah, they're outside licking each other's balls, but continue.
Nice one.
Yeah, sorry.
No. As I was saying, of course, I think he's the perfect choice in my point of view. I've seen again that tweet, that infamous tweet that I made on June the 2nd, and I said, back then, a squad mixing veterans and young players. So if we looked at the other managers that were in the mix, Vieira, Parker, of course, Brendan Rodgers who went to Celtic in the end. They didn't work well in the past with youngsters, especially Vieira with Eze and Olise, because he didn't give Eze game time at the beginning. So looking at Farke's record, James Maddison, Billy Gilmore, Oliver Skip, Buendia.
There's more. Jamal Lewis,
Ben Godfrey,
Max Aarons. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's the right manager to develop players like Gellert, like Matteo Joseph, like Archie Gray,
Darko JB, Archie Gray.
Exactly.
These are going to play key roles, I think, next season. And like we've seen, didn't we, in the pre-season thing, like Matteo Joseph and Archie Gray came back. They didn't need to, and they came back
as well. Darko JB
Darko as well. Sorry,
he was with Joseph for England, wasn't he? So it's a great mentality. That it really is.
100%.
But if you're going to get an extra week on holiday, most people would take it. But they clearly want to impress, and they want a chance in the championship. So.
Yeah, they know it's an important season for them, of course, because they have the opportunity with players going, and especially Farke. Okay, the right pronunciation is Farke, I think. Farke said that, of course, that he knows because he stayed after they were relegated in 2020. He said that for his experience, there's a lot of players that might stay till the end of the window and may be sold at Norwich at the end. So if you don't get the replacement in that situation, the youngsters may have more game time and chances, coming through.
I keep having this conversation with people on social media and stuff. Like someone mentioned saying to me about Carl Darlow being number one. Well, Mellier's not leaving yet, and I went, trust me, Meslier will leave. It's like when people say, "Oh, it's quiet on Sinistera. Oh, it's quiet on Harrison." Trust me, the window doesn't shut till September. If them players are still at Leeds United, then clubs will take a chance. Clubs will take a chance because they go, "Oh, come on, we know what deadline day is like, man." Trust me, these players are going. I think. Before we discuss any more, let me just pull up the article. I've not had a chance to fully read it yet, folks. As I say, it's been very busy today. Let me see if I can just switch it up.
Okay, so happy. Look how happy he looks.
And her, yeah.
I love it.
Like that. Does that work? Does this work? Or maybe that. So
same clothing shop, by the way. Yeah.
Same what? You dress for the occasion.
Yeah. Exactly.
It says Leeds United are delighted to announce the appointment of Daniel Farke, two-time winner of the Sky Bet Championship whilst in charge of Norwich City. Farke has agreed a 4-year deal at Ellen Road. I think that surprised us all. The 46-year-old German succeeds Sam Allardyce, who left the Whites at the end of last season. As we know, played in the lower leagues of Germany, also brought his coaching staff. Big up to Andrea for telling us that information. We know about his history up to this point, but let's have a look what he's had to say. He said, I'd like to thank everyone for the really warm welcome. I'm really grateful at this moment to work for this amazing club. Just on that, I assume you've seen the video of him outside Ellen Road. Did you see? Yeah. Did you see the kids try to get him to take a picture with the dog?
Yeah. I think they took a picture without the dogs and then asked him to
said, can we get a picture with the dog?
No, but
he wasn't having that.
With Farke held in the dogs. I think they wanted a picture with Farke.
Yeah, that's what he said. Can you get a picture with the dog? And he went, no dogs, no dogs.
But you know what? I discovered that actually that there's the famous chant, of course, Farke is an horse, but he's actually scared of horses.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So dogs and horses. Horses and hounds. Horses and hounds.
There you go. If he's getting pictures with the dog, it's got to be Marco and Billy, really, if we're being honest. Let's be honest. He says, I feel humble at this time. I know the responsibility to fulfill all the expectations, and I want to repay the trust shown. The most important thing is to create togetherness and unity within this club again. And from today onwards, I will work on it with my staff and players, and I trust our supporters will be there when we need them. I can't wait for the first game of the season. Parag Maraf said, after a thorough recruitment process, we are excited to confirm Daniel's appointment as our first team manager. His record in the championship is clear, and I'm impressed by his leadership and plan to guide us back to the Premier League. We welcome Daniel and his staff to the club and look forward to a strong season. And then it touches on on his coaching staff. Obviously, his first proper game will be Sunday, the 6th of August, which isn't too far away now. Are we expecting some sort of press conference? Maybe we'll hear from Parag over the next coming days, maybe when the EFL ratification's announced, I'm assuming. That's still not been done, has it?
Didn't what's his? Is it something Bailey said something? Yeah, I didn't read the article, but
oh, am I back?
You're back. You're good.
Yep. Oh, right. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that, lads. Yeah, so I think Mike McGrath tweeted out that it was done and then quickly backpedaled, I think.
Really?
Said.
Like Alfonso.
Yeah, well, we all know about Alfonso Ricardo. Don't get me started on that guy. Trust me, when I say that Andrea does a lot of research, he also does research on. I've seen stuff. This guy had a picture once upon a time of the Portuguese Prime Minister as his profile photo. So yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, serious. It's funny. Do we want to hear from the 49ers and Parag, or do we want them to be silent owners? Do you think?
I won't mind an interview.
Yeah,
just to talk about things and maybe explain a few things potentially. Don't want to wear them every day, but just to hear what happened, the situation we're in, plans. Yeah, just something like that. I think I'd be alright.
Just to present ourselves, to the audience, because of course, Parag. I think he spoke when they got the first take. Now it's a new era, and when a new era arises, you have to host a press conference to speak to the press, answer their questions, and I think they'll do it after the ratification. Of course, it's not official yet, but honestly, I think it will be soon. Because if they were forced to announce the Farke right now, because they weren't able to wait till the ratification, because preseason has started. Hopefully this week or next week they get the thing settled too. Because we can't wait any longer.
Do you know what I just realised as well? So obviously, if Rads is still technically the main owner, he must have signed off on this. That's why he's done that tweet, because he knows he's the one that.
Yeah. I think it'll be gone when he changes the cover of his Twitter profile with Alan Gordon and puts Morassi. That's the sign when it'll be really gone. I went to a company's house previously because, of course, I've seen the tweet that Joe mentioned to see if there were documents about the transfer share. No, nothing. Just on Android Limited that the accounts are overdue. Just that. But I think we'll just have to wait and hope that the board of VFL speeds the team up, and reads there especially in that board helps us for once,
Yeah, for sure. Let me just jump back to this article then. This is the Athletic Phil Hayes article, and I think I just want to dive down on this a little bit. We touched on it briefly, but he said, look, after his appointment was confirmed, he spoke about the reasons. He said, to take over this task at such a big emotional club with so many expectations, it is key people are on the same page. Owners, board, sporting department, Farke said, it is important to get a feeling for each other and that we agree on our visions of what has to be done to bring success. He said, they had to convince me to take this role. No one had to convince me about the potential and size of the club, but what was important for me was that I was convinced by the people here. They have to have the same ideas and vision as me. As soon as I got this feeling, I thought this was an interesting project. I am grateful and humble. All the key people shared more of the same views, which is important. And I seen a tweet, I think it was London Leeds, and he mentioned the role. It wasn't head coach, it was more manager. It was more manager. So do we expect Daniel Farke to take more of a front seat when it comes to transfers, do you think? Because I guess he's going to get the help of Nick Hammond as well. But with that title, or am I thinking too much into it?
Well, there was
manager.
There's an interview on BBC Sounds.
Okay.
I think Popey shared it potentially.
Okay.
And they asked him about transfers. Are you going to have a big say in it? And he said, yeah. He said, basically. So I imagine him and Nick will be working very close to find targets. So
yeah. And do you think as well, that's what obviously we know about Nat Phillips. He's wanted him. It looks like he has interest from Feyenoord as well. So they need to start pushing the button if they're going to. We know about Carl Darlow as well. Unfortunately, Looks like Trafford's going to be on his way to Burnley for 19 million. So it looks like Caldalo. I think they sort of scream Farke signings in a sense, don't they? Especially when you consider he was linked with him in the past. Obviously, Andrea sent me the list. You should see the size of the list. I'm not going to lie to you. You should see the size. I'm going to share. I'll give you a little snippet.
That's better. Wait. Send you the picture of the list. No, not with the names, of course.
Yeah, no.
That's
I mean,
the list.
This is how many players we're talking. Look at the size of this list, and that's just goalkeepers and defenders, folks.
Let's sign them all. Jeez.
Yeah.
Check the DMs because I send you the.
What on the on
Twitter? On Twitter, yeah. Wait.
Let's have a look.
Okay, it's arriving, eh?
We'll have
I should say as well that Domagala, however you pronounce it, the fitness coach.
Yeah,
I've read into him. He's a beast. He's gonna ruin him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's serious.
Here we are. Send it.
Yeah.
Send
what
it.
have you? What have you heard? Talk to me, Lockie. What have you heard?
Well, I've just been reading stuff about what he brought him in because of how intense he was and how he does double sessions a day. He'll surprise them with sessions when they don't think they've got one. They'll get called in. He's I think something to do with military. I think he trained in the past or something like that. I can't remember, but he's a beast. So
cool.
The players need to be ready for him.
I think the Norwich City fan said like they have 2 training sessions a day, and that there's no sort of like rest for the wicked. They need it as well. They need it. This group of players. There's Andrea's list. We love a WWE reference on this show for sure. Yeah. So yeah.
I was talking to Andrea about this afternoon because I'm doing like an ideal number 10 because we don't have one and one that will fit into our system. And there was all these Italian players I didn't know about, so I sent them all to Andrea, and he comes back with each one, who they are, what they're like, in like 10 minutes. I was like, thank you.
I love that. Lockie, if you're about, mate, if you're about tomorrow, you can jump on with us if you want. Tomorrow evening, I think we'll be doing it. Like I say, it will be a late one though, for those that want to watch. Because unfortunately, I'm working till 11 every night this week. Thursday, 10:15. This was a joke. I need to quit. And just do this full time, man. One day.
Hopefully.
Yeah, one day. So, what are we expecting to see come Manchester United in 6 days? Can we expect anything, or is it just a case of just going through the motions, do we think?
Yeah, I think we should just expect the emotions. It's too short, to bring a new mentality in, especially after a whole season with narrowness, uncertainty, and different ideas. I don't know what's going on in the minds of the player after they went through Bielsa and then changed the mentality to the narrowness of March. Then were managed by 3 men at once: Armas, Escobala, and Paco, yeah. Then Scubal and then Avigracia and then Allardyce. I think it's like madness in their minds, in terms of football tactics and formation on the pitch, So I think it's a short time. I think it will just give us a sign in terms of the fitness after a week training under Farke. I think that the next match, which is the one against, I think, Art, maybe, or is Monaco the first one?
Yes, Monaco. Yeah, Monaco's the next one, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see more of the tactics in that match, especially. And it gives us a clear sign, I think, the game at Tynecastle instead, about that game too, I really hope the clubs can come together and made a tribute for Marius Liaukas, the Lithuanian defender that passed away years ago. Played for Leeds, and I really hope they can remember him. But yeah, I think the game at Tynecastle can show us both tactics and fitness, because of course I think the game against Monaco fitness may lower down a bit because it's after 2 weeks of intense training. So I think the final game against us will give us the main signs,
Yeah, and do you know what I just want to say as well? Bielsa's pre-season were never good, you know. They were never good. They were rubbish.
Played a team from Saudi and lost, I think.
Yeah, I remember I went to Guiseley both years on the trot, and yeah, we were rubbish. And it was like, what's this all about? And obviously we all remember how Stoke went. So I think probably we don't need to read too much into it, of course, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You know, it's all about, because look, let's be real here. I think Luke Ayling said it towards the back end of the season. We were one of the unfittest teams in the league come the end of the season. So they're probably going to need to be beasted. I don't know if you listen to because actually I was hammering this player when the season first finished, and I've had a total U-turn on Dan James. I think Dan James could really work this season in the Championship. I have had a U-turn, and I listened to the Don't Go to Bed Just Yet podcast. Big shout out Lewis, by the way, and the rest of them. On there, they spoke about Dan James doing a lot of work with Luke Ayling. I think they were doing their runs together around wherever they live. So obviously that's good to hear as well. And I think, look, we'll have to wait and see, because like, you know, Daniel Farke said just at the end of this Athletic piece as well, he did say our situation is more complicated than other clubs as we have to start later because of the takeover. Everything won't be perfect in 4 weeks, but we need to create a solid foundation. We need to make some good and quick decisions. There are several to make for the group of players, and that's what we're talking about. I think, you know, we will see a lot of movement over the next 4 weeks, both incomings and outgoings. He says the transfer window will end on the final day, so it'll be a busy 2 months, but I'm confident we'll have a good team at the end. We have to work quickly to get to the heads and the hearts of the players and to build unity. That is what we'll be working on. I love that, you know. He just speaks so well, doesn't he? He speaks so
Everything
well.
he's saying is about like the mentality or the you know, the emotions of it, not necessarily the tactics, which is good. It's good to hear, to be honest.
Yeah, I just hope, like you said previously, Lucky, that the takeover situation won't affect the transfer window, because of course the Farke appointment will have been signed. Of course, I think I agree with you. It's been signed probably by Rad still, because he's currently the majority owner still. So I hope the takeover gets done quickly, because of course he'll have to sign the transfer too in that case.
I get a tweet every time we sign a player from him.
That's a welcome, Bamba Dieng.
This is my signing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's what he'll be like. You know what he's like.
I was going to say as well, like coming up to Man United friendly, I'm just really looking forward to looking at players like you said, Dan James, Joffrey. I'm really looking forward to see Joffrey pre-season, because if he performs well pre-season and smashes it every game, Farke's going to have an option.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Players like Darko JB as well, and Matteo Joseph. Can't wait.
Yeah, same. I'm so excited, you know, now. Like, how far are we away? Like, obviously, we play Man United in what? Well, it's now the 5th, so we're a day closer. So
7 days now.
It's 7 days a week, so week today. I need to check my shift actually, because I'll be doing a watch along on the channel as per. Probably have to pay on LUTV, I'd imagine at this point, but it'll be cool. Looking forward to it. Season starts what, 6th of August, so 2 months away, right? Is that right? No, 1 month away.
Less.
1 month away. Yeah, 1 month away.
Oh, wait,
1 month tomorrow. By tomorrow, 1 month.
Yeah, 1 month. So yeah, it's exciting, man. Someone said, "Why is Rutter still here?" Folks, I've got a sneaky suspicion that he's going to have a standout season at Leeds United.
I've got a feeling Farke really likes him. I think he's spoken to him.
Yeah, I do as well. And it's
clear,
clear,
at least because give him a chance.
Yeah.
Have you seen the comments under his Instagram post? All Hoffenheim fans trying to bring him back.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, we did see, like, the club have made quite a big play for him, obviously, putting together that little compilation that they put out on Instagram, etc. The fact that Daniel Farke will know him from his time in Hoffenheim, I think, Rutter will smash it up. So, Adam, if you want him to go, I think you listen, football's about opinions, but I don't think it's the right opinions. He said he didn't do much last season. I think that was more down to the managers, mate. than Rutter. So we'll have to.
He came into a really difficult situation.
Yeah.
How old was he? What, 20 when he came to us? Didn't speak any English. Like
wrong timing too.
In what we believe to be a toxic environment, that must be horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
And then thrown straight into it. Like,
let's be honest. People at the football club have been investigated for bullying. Like this is how bad it got. People who worked on the foundation,
and that's a culture, though, isn't it? That'll
100%. Like I get. For me, like I've never been in a dressing room, but you hear stories that, of course, you have people that are like taking the piss all the time and all that sort of stuff. And if you're like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, especially like Under the Caution stuff, and it's very much sink or swim in a dressing room environment, right? So maybe you're getting ribbed by your players, but to then be getting ribbed by people who work for the football club that aren't players, like that's brutal. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, I almost feel sorry for, like, I'm just guessing here, but for players like Brendan Aronson, I know they didn't do much on the pitch, but I feel like, and maybe even Rutter to an extent, coming into an environment like Lockie said that was toxic, that wasn't you know, that didn't have unity and was losing games hand over fist. You know, the crowd getting on the backs. It all becomes a massive shit show is what it was in the end.
And I think it was clear from what Farke's just said in his interviews. He's always talking about we need to be together on the same page.
Again, and he even says again. He even says again.
So he's been made aware of the situation.
Of course.
If there's trouble behind the scenes, the trouble gets on the pitch too.
100%.
I've experienced that in the past when one of my former clubs. So when there's people just looking after themselves and not looking at the motto that is no one is bigger than the club, you know, trying to play tug of war with each other, it doesn't benefit the club, and in the end, it doesn't benefit. You may have one season when the pitch side gets the better of the club, but next season you get caught out, especially. I think after Bielsa was sacked, the behind the scenes uncertainty and the arrogance of certain people got the better, and created a toxic environment towards the fan too in certain terms, you know, because compared to the previous seasons, especially. And from my experience personally, it's crucial. It's crucial because when you have players, staff, communication, the youth team, it's like a big cake with every piece with a different taste. You know, every area, every part of the club is crucial. Not just the playing side. Everything needs to be minded together and leaning towards the right direction, the same direction. If someone is trying to give his direction, go to his own direction, it brings the club back. That's my own experience, and I'm really sensible about it, honestly, with this kind of things, because they affect massively the playing performance of the side too.
For those that are just asking or late to the party, obviously Daniel Farke has been officially announced. I've not had a chance to read through this article. I will do tonight, but just looking at the key points on this tweet, it's an Athletic article that's been put together by Michael J. Bailey and Phil Hay, but here's some key bullet points. As a front runner in the job since June the 23rd, brings through youth. We know Leeds United have that in abundance. Developed reputation under Tuchel at Dortmund, has deep detail, possession-based tactics, and obviously a little bit on where it went wrong. I think you can just look at the money. 5 million in the Premier League's insane. It's not even enough in the Championship, so it's mad. And Gladbach, he was sacked, but he finished 10th. It weren't actually that bad, if I'm being totally honest. And you can see here, I didn't know, but Michael Bailey there is a journalist from Norwich City, and he looks like he's got a picture on the T4 podcast as well with John, who's a Leeds fan as well. You can see there, and the T4 podcast is elite in terms of knowing what they're talking about. So if he's saying good things, as again, I haven't had a chance to read the article, I'd advise you all to do it just to get an idea. There's also as well, I don't know if you chance have watched it, there's the T4 Daniel Farke video. Have you had a chance to watch that before now?
That's very good. Very good.
That's really good as well. Let's before we end, right, who for you, out of the players that we have, and we expect to stay. So let's not talk about Cine or whoever. Who do you think is going to have the real best time of it under Farke? Like, who's the standout? And we can't have the same people. And I'll go first just because I can.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you sweat, boys. But I'm just gonna go Rutter. I've already spoken on it. I just think Rutter, having worked in the German league, I think he although sometimes when I've watched him play, admittedly not in the under-23s, he does look a little bit languid, like he's sort of got a weird running style, but I do think technically he is good on the ball and will be able to get himself out of tight spaces and ride challenges. So I think for me, Rutter will be the player that will really stamp down his mark and be a key player under Daniel Farke. I'm going to go to Andrea. Lox is new to late night leads, so for that he has to wait till the end. But Andrea, who's your standout?
Well, honestly, I'm going to say Cody Drama because he develops the fullbacks. He developed the fullbacks a lot at Norwich. Jamal Lewis, Max Aarons, and I think Drama has still a lot of potential because, like I said in the past, I think he's very good when it comes to crossing. He needs to develop in terms of positioning. He's good with the tackling when he needs to defend, but on positioning he needs to develop, and especially with the overlaps and one-on-ones and the attack, because he has the physique. I think he has the body to go to the next level, overlap physically, try to pass to players 1-2, 1-2, you know. And I think he can really develop him, and hopefully we get another left on the other side. We get the left back with the same characteristics, you know, because the fullbacks will be crucial in that style of play, of course.
I was told, by someone today, and again, I'm not saying to be ITK, it's just what they had heard, that apparently Junior wants to stick around. Do we see that? I mean, apparently he was there for the first day. Do you envisage that happening, folks? Yeah.
Is that Farke saying he wants him?
I don't know. Like, I just heard that apparently, but I mean,
interesting.
I don't know. Maybe it works.
I don't think he can play in the style of play, honestly, because when he used to get up on the pitch, with an higher positioning on the pitch, he often left us open at the back, especially with with Marsh, especially. And I don't think he'll be a good fit in that specific system, honestly, because his defending is terrible too, and he cost us a lot, honestly. Of course, he played a few games, but if you look at the whole picture, he was terrible during his time at Leeds. Of course, he had injuries, of course, at the beginning, but he never settled into the team, and he was terrible, especially against Newcastle, because he did the penalty. Was. I don't rate him, honestly. I think he's not an English type of football player, So I think if he goes back to Spain, to La Liga, or not even the Bundesliga, even Serie A, I think Serie A or La Liga might be a good place for him, honestly.
Yeah, he's a massive system.
Send him to Rome.
What were you saying, Lockie?
I was going to say he's a massive system player as Firpo. Like, he relies on the system. Like, going forward, he can be really good. I think that's obvious, but his massive system, isn't it? His system's got to be perfect for him to fit into it, or it don't work.
Jay Rowley says Junior was the most impressive. Lee, no disrespect if you... I'm not having that, bro. I'm not having that. What? Most improved. He went from like
the most improved.
He went from shit to diarrhea, or diarrhea to shit. Like, I'm just trying to think of a comparison that's poor and then poorer. I don't know about that. Right, okay. So you've gone Cody. You've gone Cody. I've gone Rutter. We're gonna go now to Lockie.
So did you ask who's gonna have a breakthrough, or who's gonna?
Who because we know he brings through youth. He brought through 11 players at Norwich, so he's gonna give these lads a chance. So out of them, who's gonna have the best impact?
I'm struggling with two of them, but I'll go. And they are Joffy and JB.
Joffy. I feel like Joffrey's a bit of a forgotten man at the minute. By the fan base.
And I think he's got a big point to prove. I'm going to go with Darko JB. Again, for him, I just think this is his time now. I think he knows that. I think I've always liked him, I watched a lot of the 23s. I love it. We actually won football matches, so it's really fun to watch. And it just dominated every game. And I think the championship's a good level for him to really grow in a system like Farke's, where he'll be able to express himself in midfield. Link up play is good at. He's powerful. He can drive forward, and he's got a good final third pass as well. So, and he needs to defensively improve a little bit. But yeah, I think Darko JB is going to be good this year.
Fair. Got a good feeling I think that's fair. Some of the people watching, Matthew Burgess says Creswell, our defence needs a major overhaul, and he showed he could do it last season. James goes for a bold prediction, said, mark my words, Bamford. I hope you're right, mate. Claire Wood says, I think Dan James, Rutter and Joffy. And there's been many other shouts in there. A lot going for JB, to be fair. A lot going for JB. So we'll have to wait and see. I tell you what, before we finish, I'll go for another round, because someone just said we need, and just named loads of positions. I think it was Andrew Bissett who says we need a right centre back, 2 left backs, 1 CDM, 1 mid, 1 attacking mid, and 1 striker. How many players?
I agree.
Yeah. Do you think that's bang on?
Yeah.
So how many players? Go on. How many players do we need through the door, Andrea?
Yeah, 2 left backs. Depending on the exits, I think at least 1 centre back, maybe 2, because of course Koch and Christensen and Llorente will leave, so at least 2, I think. With the current one staying, of course, including Cresswell. Then, of course, 1 DM, and maybe 2, because if Adams leave, of course. Well, we don't have a defensive player, a defensive type of player. 1 CM / advanced midfielder, and depending on the exit, of course, we need other players on the wing too. And it's all dependent on the exits right now. But regardless of that, surely a striker
we need a 15-20 goal a season guaranteed man, don't we?
And not a tall number 9, because I think they keep Bamford as a backup as a tall number 9. I think we need a fast one that can cut through the defense, create depth, coming back to dialogue, to interact with the midfielders, 1-2, and attack the space like Pukki did at Norwich. So that type of player, just the one that doesn't do a lot with the ball on his feet, but is able to attack the spaces and cut through the defense and find the right places to shoot and score.
Akpom's been mentioned a lot in the comments by people. We will touch over it in the coming days. Starting tomorrow, folks. We'll start tomorrow with the transfer video. Lockie can join us as well if he's up for it. It will be around this time again, folks, because I'm at work till 11, as long as that's, folks. And listen, thanks everyone for tuning in. I really enjoyed doing the late night leads. I want you to go check out Lockie's channel. If you haven't already, make sure you do some stellar stuff over there. Obviously, Andrea as well is just becoming a permanent fixture on this show, the Mario to my Luigi. So you can be Bowser, Lockie. You can be Bowser.
I'll take that.
All right, man. Yeah. It's good, isn't he? Do you know what? Right, I went to watch Mario with the kids because my little boy loves it, and I genuinely did not realize that Bowser was a toad. No, not a toad. Sorry, what they called? Turtle. Yeah.
I was on the stream when you said it. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's got a shell. Of course he is.
Yeah. I thought it was like some sort of alligator hybrid. And then he started. And a dragon, exactly. So yeah. Anyway, off point, like always. Listen, smash a like on the video, folks. Subscribe to the channel, get your comments in and all that sort of stuff. And we'll be back tomorrow night. I'll probably do something during the day as well. But I'll be back tomorrow night when we start to look at what players we can sign. We'll start with the defenders and the goalkeeper. Okay, so yeah. Look out for that, and we'll see.